Hey, hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. If you're just jumping on, why don't you put in the chat where you're jumping on from so we can see where everybody's from?
I'm participating.
That would be great, everybody.
Well,
So, welcome to our webinar. We're going to ease in here over the first couple minutes, but you're in the right place tonight. Okay, AI secrets that you need to start using as a landlord or a future landlord. We've got some great speakers tonight that are going to deliver you a lot of really practical insights that you can start using right away.
Kory, we got people from everywhere. We got like right to BC. We got Invermere. That's a new one, I think, for us. Long Point. I haven't seen Newfoundland yet, though. That would be fun.
Yeah.
Right? Coast to coast. I'm just saying.
Bring out the screech. Let's go.
Newfoundland to Victoria. Let's do St. John's to Victoria. And
Yes,
I'm just
fine.
saying, right? All right. Got Pickering. We got everybody here. I just want to say hello to a bunch of people here. We got Olu, Diana Duffy. Hello, hello. Who else we got? Susan Lee, Hong Vu. Hey, Hong. Wow, seeing some familiar names and seeing lots of new ones. Kayla Cherry. I hope I said that right. Kory, you got lots of people. They want to learn about AI.
Very true. Guys, I'm just going to ask for a second to actually get my other screen going here. So,
Awesome, no worries. Well, listen, while we're doing that, there's a lot of buzz. If you don't mind, I am going to throw it over to Kayla because
Oh.
yeah, well, here's the thing. Listen, we talked about this before the call. There's a lot of buzz going on with this new Bill 60. Most of our clients are going to be, most of our clients are going to be landlords or attendees on this call are landlords, and this impacts landlords and tenants alike. And so I just want to throw it out there. Maybe Kayla, can you just give like a broad overview, just so people, I just want to, get the elephant out of the room just so people can understand what this Bill 60 is and how that impacts them.
Yeah, of course. And you know what? A lot of changes are happening. I think around all of Canada. I'm watching like BC right now, but of course, it's in the news. It's still in the news. It's all over TikTok. Bill 60 has gone through third reading. High level, this is talking about reporting, filing your application at the Landlord and Tenant Board. It's going to go from 14 days to 7. We're going to have a definition of what persistently late payments are. So great for FrontLobby because, hey, you can report payment history to the credit bureau. So that's going to be really important with Bill 60. We also have the compensation. So if a landlord is wanting to do a personal use application, anywhere from 60 to 119 days, you need to give the tenant compensation. If it's over 4 months, you do not have to give any type of compensation. We're seeing them hiring more sheriffs for the areas. There's probably going to be a temporary thing because there's a wait for the sheriff, so they're going to hiring more. They do have different areas when it comes down to a review process. So after you go to the landlord and tenant board, there's a review from the tenant disputing what the landlord and tenant board adjudicator had said. It used to be 30. They're going to bring that down to 15. A lot of it's not really big. Like there's a big cake that the landlords and the property managers and even good tenants want, but we're getting a really big crumb right now. And I think we should be very happy and celebrate that this is happening. Like we're going to get more into it. And I think we're going to continue to talk about it because it is about how we're going to take Bill 60 and put it through the landlord and tenant board. So I will be talking about it on my YouTube channel, Kayla Unfiltered, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. And we have some guests that are going to help me fire up that conversation. And there's probably
Okay,
more. There's
so,
more. I just
well,
lean
here's
it
what I'm
in
going to say.
AI.
Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, guys, I know there's a lot of people. You probably have a lot of questions about this. We don't want to hijack our time tonight about Bill 60, but what I will say is make sure you follow Kayla. Kayla can post in the chat a link to her Facebook group. You guys can jump in there. There's a lot of conversation about that. And you can also search, she's doing a lot of podcasts. So by the end of the week, there's going to be a ton of podcasts up. You just search her name on your favorite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, iPodcast or whatever the Apple version of it is and all of that. You guys can just type her name in because there's a lot of chatter about this. And then you can dive deeper, join the conversation that way. But we do want to keep tonight on tech. That's what everybody is here for tonight. And tomorrow night, if you want to join the conversation about Bill 60, Kayla Unfiltered is going live on her Facebook page. So, Kayla, if you don't mind, maybe sharing your Facebook page, because I
Yeah, I'm
just know there's a
actually
big.
I'll
Mhm.
send both here. One is going to be the YouTube channel because it does allow us to chat very easily versus like the Facebook. Then we're going to get into like where you can find our group. Just say that you mentioned that you were on the Front Lobby webinar, so I can let you into this group a little bit quicker, and then we'll connect from there.
Awesome. Yeah, because it is an important conversation to be a part of. And awareness is key, guys. You want to stay on top of that. So, for those of you that are in the strategic community, we'll be posting that stuff in our strategic community as well. And so, and then that way, if you want to join Kayla Unfiltered tomorrow night on her YouTube channel, which I highly recommend, absolutely, absolutely join that conversation. Okay. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is key.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
I'm going to throw it
everybody.
back to Kory. Yeah, I'm taking over. Sorry.
It's all good, everybody. So now that it looks like we're getting fully loaded up, we appreciate everybody making some time here tonight. And I know the attendees, they're just continuing to go up like like Bitcoin earlier this year. So a couple housekeeping topics here. Just remember that sometimes Zoom doesn't always pick the right advice, so the right device. So make sure you're picking the up arrow arrow to next to the mic icon to switch your input or output. Depending on if you're on a computer, on your phone, it can act a little bit finicky sometimes. Being on a webinar is definitely going to be a little bit different than you being on a Zoom call with people from your company. So you can definitely switch the view by selecting speaker or the gallery, and just make sure that you're being respectful in the chat with everybody. Now, when it comes to the Q&A feature, when that's enabled, that's where you can actually submit your questions, okay? So the chat, I mean, you can put them in the chat, but that's not where we're really going to be looking for the questions. If you could please, please, please make sure that you put your questions in the Q&A feature. So sometimes you need to find that on your toolbar at the bottom of the screen. And it's just a different area where we can just hyper focus on those questions because we want to answer as many questions as we can for you before the end of the night. And just keep in mind that we're recording the session. We're going to send out the recording and any materials afterwards. Make sure you stay to the end, everybody, okay? We've got some awesome resources and tools for you that are going to make implementing what you learned from this webinar so much more easier, and just different ways that you can stay in touch with everybody here that's going to be a speaker tonight. So we're super excited for you here. Just keep in mind that the content's for general information purposes and does not constitute legal or professional advice. Okay, that's our mini disclaimer for everybody here. But again, so top tools you're going to need, live Q&A session with our panel, and then webinar free resources here for everybody who's attending tonight and signed up. I'm kind of curious though. We're going to put a poll out here. So thanks for throwing that up there, Yvonne. What tasks take you the most time as a landlord? So check this poll out on your screen, whatever screen you might be on right now. And is it, handling tenant communication? Is it organizing documents and records? Is it figuring out pricing for your rentals and market analysis? Is it screening your applicants, managing repairs and maintenance? I know for me that's constantly ongoing and definitely requires management. Or is it all of the above? So please give us a vote here so we can get some information on the poll.
I love polls. It just sucks I can't vote right now. Can I just like log in on my phone as a different person?
You could try for sure.
Then you guys are gonna have the echo.
I swear to
So
God,
as
Kayla, I was also wanting to vote and couldn't vote. I'm like, Ma, but I just want to echo what Kory said here. If you guys vote, it will give us some feedback so that we can give you information tonight that is going to help you the most.
Hmm.
So please vote.
Exactly. We're going to give everybody a minute to vote on the poll here. I'm going to keep moving forward though. with some introductions here. I just want to make sure that people understand. If you've never met some of us before, I'll give myself a little bit of an introduction. So, Kory McKinnon, real estate investor, coach, and strategic advisor at Strategic Success Consulting. So, I've got a significant portfolio and, been building that over the past couple decades. But really, my mission today is to be helping real estate investors like you, whether you're newer or more advanced, just go to the next level because we all have another level. And if it's not for information from our community, from great people that we have on the webinar tonight, it just makes getting to that next level that much harder. All right. And I personally use AI to help to stress test deals, modeling different scenarios, helping me out with copy, and really just providing, being proactive when it comes to any challenges that are going to hit me as a real estate investor and landlord. We have Danielle Chiasson. She is the CEO of Strategic Success Consulting. She's also a real estate investor and coach and advisor to many, many people in the network. And she's a seasoned investor. She's great at operating her own portfolio. And she's also a huge educator who specializes in building efficient systems for rentals and renovations. And she definitely hands that down to people that she works with in our network here. Teaching other landlords how to streamline their workflows, stay organized, and scale with confidence using practical tools. And she is definitely an AI junkie. So that's why she's on here tonight. And she's got lots of great things to share with everybody. We have Tej Kang. Tej is the CEO, co-founder of Door Insight, a data strategist who helps Canadian landlords set rent accurately and analyze deals with speed and precision. This is really needed, everybody, in today's market where rents are going up and down like a heartbeat. He specializes in turning market data into simple, actionable insights using AI-driven tools. In a nutshell, he makes things easier for you. Okay, I can't wait to hear from Tej tonight. Then we have Kayla Andrade. So she is the FrontLobby ambassador and president of the Ontario Landlords Watch. If you aren't following her, if you're not part of her community on Facebook, you need to make sure that you're in that group. Kayla is the ambassador of one of Canada's she's the ambassador for FrontLobby and one of Canada's most active housing advocates supporting landlords through complex tenant legislative challenges. She has been extremely busy with Bill 60. Hats off to you, Kayla, and we need more people like you fighting for landlord rights and to really swing the pendulum more towards the center to make this a more balanced everyday interaction between tenants and landlords. She uses AI to simplify the rules, strengthen communication, and help landlords resolve issues with clarity and confidence. So thank you, everybody, for coming on here tonight to pour into the audience. So do we have some poll results here coming up? All right, look at that. Where are the most popular ways? Well, it's pretty, hopefully people can see this here, but it's,
we don't be able to vote. There we go.
Yeah. 37% say screening applicants, 36% say managing repairs and maintenance, 30% say all of the above. So they use it for everything. Organizing documents and records and handling tenant communication for 21%, and then pricing rentals. Okay, only 10%. So I think this is going to be awesome for Tej. She's going to really take you behind the scenes and show you how you can use AI and his platform to be able to do that much, much easier. And I know it's not easy. I know I've just recently pricing a unit. And I'm like kind of throwing darts at a board that I can't see right now. So thanks for voting on the polls there, gang. We're going to have more polls as we go. Every speaker has a poll tonight, so get ready for more. All right, I think that's a future poll here. But guys, we're ready to dive in with our speakers. So first up is going to be Danielle. So Danielle, I know that you're using AI for lots of different reasons, and mainly to integrate CRMs with everything that you're doing in your rental business. So our coaching business aside, you're extremely busy when it comes to just managing your own portfolio and automating things. So you're the queen of automation. How about you let people a little bit behind the scenes when it comes to how you do that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I don't know if I'd say I'm the queen of automation, but what I will say is that I'm a huge nut when it comes to systems and processes. And the reason why you want to have systems and processes in your business, guys, is to take the hard work out, which is thinking and having to remember everything. So when you build a system, you're basically just following the system. The system guides you through any process that you need to do, whether that's whether that's hiring if you're running a business, whether it's tenant vetting and placement, what documents you need to share with them when you're doing tenant vetting, what you're going to write in the ad when you're posting, all of that, what documents, what needs to be in the documents, what information you need from this document. When you create processes, you're going to have things along the way that is going to remind you what you need to put in it. And the fun thing about AI now is that we have AI to help us with these processes to streamline it and make it even easier now. And so, what we have AI for is not to do the processes for us, but maybe we can use AI to build a process. Maybe we can use AI to build the forms and checklists and questionnaires. And there's other ways we can use AI as well, because you can really dive deep in this and use AI agents to do maybe outbound calls or to do inbound calls. So if you're doing tenant placement, you can have it so that people have to call this number. They talk to an AI agent, which asks them, pre-qualifying questions for that unit. And if they qualify, then they book a call with them or book a viewing with them. And so you can really streamline the process by using AI as a tool or different tools to help you in these processes. So that's what I use AI for with everything that we do with real estate and in our business.
I might get that AI caller to get my calls from this crazy tenant that's calling me right now.
Oh yeah. Well, you can do okay, so you can do AI agent inbound agents in order to take maintenance requests. And so like once you set up an AI inbound agent, what you do is you have a dedicated number, they call this number and it's the inbound agent for your maintenance for your tenants or tenant complaints or tenant queries or whatever it is. And then the once you set it up, it's like really set it, forget it. And then at the end of the call, you're going to get emailed, or your people, if you have a property manager, gets emailed all of the information that the tenant shared. And then we can decide what we're going to do with that. So if it's like, hey, I got a leak or I have this, and I would suggest non-emergency requests go through an AI agent, because if it's an emergency, they should be calling you direct.
Mhm.
But with the AI agent, it really can like streamline it. And then you put that in your maintenance into your maintenance process, which is, it has to get triaged and which one gets done first and that sort of thing, right? But then it goes to your team and your team can action that maintenance issue. So I mean, and that's just one example. There's so many ways to implement this. Like I said, you can use it on the front end in order for potential tenants to call you, because I used to do all my phone calls and pre-qualify tenants when I'm leasing a unit. And so now I can get an AI agent that actually does that. So, and then I just get the form. And if they qualify, I can send them a link to book a viewing. And again, having a link, an online booking link, this is where okay, so guys, I'm going to say this. What's AI? AI is just tech, right? And so it's just elevated. It's always had tech tools to use
Mhm.
in the last, I'll say, 12 to 15 years, really, where we started using a lot of tech stuff. AI is just a little bit elevated where it can actually do some things for you and have conversations with other people. It can do the thinking for you and give you summaries. But that's one of the ways. That's one of the ways that we do it. Um, what else? What else do you guys need to know? Oh, I do want to say too, guys, there is a Q&A box. So if you have any questions during this webinar, make sure you post it in the Q&A box so that we see it and it doesn't get lost in the main chat. Okay, there's a main chat for everybody, and then there's the Q&A box. So make sure you post it in the Q&A box so we can see it.
Yeah, love it. There's definitely some questions popping in there. Before we get too far, though, will we pop up Danielle's poll here just so that she can get a little bit of understanding of what do you want to automate the most when it kind of comes to what she's talking about right now, which is automating your rental business. So documents and checklists, communication, payments, reminders, schedules, follow-ups, application pre-screening information, or is it inspections and maintenance? So again, Kayla, sorry if you're not on your cell phone, you can't vote, but we'd love to see as many votes as we can from people here. And I like to say that this is not a webinar, it's a participation webinar. So everybody gets to participate in these polls and quizzes. So, right. But
Yeah,
as
and
those
while
results are coming in here, Danielle, which part would you say is the lowest hanging fruit for, landlords who are, feeling a little bit disorganized? Like, where do you feel like they should start? If you were working with a new landlord who just bought, a handful of doors and they're pretty new to AI, what would your recommendations be?
ChatGPT, honestly, that is the easiest for people. There is a huge learning curve when it comes to using tools and tech tools. So you want to kind of get your feet wet with whatever's easiest for you. I don't want you guys to go out there and try to take on the world and do everything and automate everything and take it all on because you'll get nothing done. So start with what works. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this. Guys, write this down. This is how you build a system and process. You start with a checklist. So anything, first of all, actually, let me back that up. What you start with is identifying any task that you do repeatedly that has a series of tasks that you have to do in order to complete it. So for example, when you're doing, and I keep coming back to this one, guys, but probably because I'm leasing a unit right now, but leasing a unit, there's a list of tasks that you have to do in order to start with the marketing all the way to the time when you hand over the keys, right? And so there's a whole list of things that you need to do. So start with a checklist. And now, like I used to have to build that out and, write that in a Word document by myself and say, okay, I do this, I do that, I do that, I do that. And I built out my own checklist. Now you guys have AI to help you with that, and that's ChatGPT. So what you want to do is go into ChatGPT and say, and by the way, it's a tool to assist you in building the process. It's not a tool to do it for you. Okay. So don't forget about that. So it's going to just be a time saver because it's going to do the bulk of the work, but you still need to go out there and review everything and make sure it's exactly the way you want it for your business because ChatGPT kind of gives an overarching effect. And it'll be very detailed, but some things might apply for you and some things might not. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to ChatGPT, say, look, I'm building a system and process on leasing an empty unit for residential investment property. And so what you're going to do is you prompt it and say, can you build me a checklist of everything I need to do from marketing to the time I give the keys? And it's going to give you a list of things. And then you just keep prompting it. And guys, if you don't know how to prompt Chat GPT, do some research on how to use Chat GPT. And if you want to save time, here's a ninja tip. You can actually use Chat GPT to teach you how to use it well. So you can actually have a conversation with Chat GPT and say, what are the best tips that you can give me in order to prompt you so that I can get accurate results? And just have fun with that. Guys, you can't break it. Okay. So just have fun with it. So back to the processes, you're going to ask ChatGPT to build you up a checklist. Once you have a checklist, you know everything that you need to do, and then you can just add to that. So if you need to do a marketing, or sorry, you need to market the unit, what do I need in order? What do I need in order to put into the details of marketing a unit for lease? And then you can have a sub checklist for things, the information that you need, so that later on you know exactly what you need to prompt in Chat GPT in order to write the script for you. Or you can use Jasper, which is really good for editing. And by the way, a lot of these tools, you guys, Kory said, hang on to the end. So hang on to the end because we're going to give you some freebies that's going to actually cover a lot of the stuff that we're sharing tonight. Okay. So yeah, so I would absolutely use ChatGPT as a first step. If you want to move on from there, and that's building the system. So then after that, um, you want to look for places that you can automate any system. And so, for example, one of the things that I do is an inbound call with the potential tenant to pre-qualify them. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, give me a list of pre-qualifying questions to qualify a tenant for my rental unit. It's going to give me those questions. And if I want to take it to the next step and go into an AI agent to take that call for me, then I'm going to learn how to implement that. The AI agent is really cool, guys, but if you've never done tech before, if you don't have a CRM or don't know what a CRM is, which is a client relationship manager, you're not going to go that deep with it yet. So you're going to, first just build a system. That's the first thing. And then you start implementing tools, AI tools, where you can, in order to make that system highly, highly efficient to save you time, money, and reduce any mistakes. Okay. The nice thing about a process, once you have a process built out, is so that one, you don't have to think about it. And two, number two, so you can delegate it. What does that mean? I can give any of my systems to my 15-year-old son and say, here, can you get this task done for me? And they can follow the system because it's all laid out for them. And what it does, it removes systems, removes discretionary decision making for anyone you delegate it to. And um, what that means is any question that they have, 90% of the questions that anybody has when they're implementing anything for you should be already addressed in that system. And therefore, they don't have to make any decisions, and which may be a bad decision on their part because they don't know how you want things done. So it's really good at removing risk from having people do things for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of information there, Danielle. And
Sorry.
I've I've seen your lead magnet that's going to be given out at the end of the session here tonight. So it's going to have a lot of not just how to navigate with AI, but just different software platforms that people can use. And I just want to address a couple questions that people are throwing in the chats here. A lot of people are asking, like, what are the names of the apps to use? Just start off simple, like start off with ChatGPT and use other ones as you feel more comfortable. Um, what's the difference between Grok and ChatGPT? They're really just built on different platforms. Okay, so ChatGPT is OpenAI and Grok is AIX, I believe, which is Elon Musk's brainchild. So they're all great, and it's really about how you program them, how you optimize them, and that's how you're going to get the best results from them as well. A lot of questions around AI agents versus, right within ChatGPT, you can make a GPT, agent as well. So just be mindful that there's a lot of platforms that are popping up very quickly. AI is doubling literally every 3 months. And, a lot of people are asking about, who can use for an AI agent, inbound, outbound. I've heard of Atlas. I'm sure there's other ones out there if people have ever used them. You can throw them in the chat. It's very new and they can be expensive. Okay. So I think that personal touch is always the best. But if you need something, you're so overwhelmed that you just need help screening calls, then by all means try to implement something. We've got the results of Danielle's poll here. 37% are saying that they would like to have the most help when it comes to application pre-screening. From there, it's 21% for payment reminders, schedules, and follow-up, 19% for documents and checklists. And then it follows off from there. Inspections and maintenance is 14%, and then communication is 9%. So appreciate everybody for participating in that poll, and we're going to keep moving on. So up next, we have Tej. So I'm actually going to stop my screen share because I know that Tej wants to share here as well. But Tej, we
For sure.
appreciate you
Yeah.
making some time here tonight. You're the co-founder for Door Insight, who builds data tools specifically for Canadian landlords. And you've really been working with AI to turn, complicated market data into simple information that everybody can use, and not just in one area, but across all markets. So,
Yep.
Taj, I'll let you share your screen here, and then I've definitely got a few questions for you here too.
For sure. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Kory. I think you should be able to see my screen now. I'll just give you some really quick background on what we do at Door Insight. So we specialize in aggregating rental data across Canada. So we work with listing sites to really put together different products, and mainly one of our main products would be uh, to help you price rentals. So work with property managers, we work with landlords, investors, and really give you the tools to accurately price rentals because that is a really important thing to do. Make sure you're not, you know, i- increasing vacancy by pricing it too high potentially, or, potentially leaving a bit of money on the table if you're pricing it too low. So it's really finding that sweet spot. Um, so I'm excited to, show you guys, share with you something we very recently released. It's a AI deal analyzer. And so what this will do is if you're looking for a potential investment property, you can very quickly analyze it by just pretty much popping in a link from whatever listing site that you like to use, and it'll quickly run the numbers for you using our database, our rental database to give you the rental numbers, and also it'll fill out a bunch of different details I'll go over right now. Okay, so I'll give you guys a quick example. So just pick this random condo in Kitchener. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And so what you can do is, if you're on, this is on House Sigma, I just take the link, it's copied here, and paste it into our deal analyzer. It does take a minute, but yeah. So again, we specialize in pricing. So we on the back end of this, we actually have a our Market Rent Pro product, which lets you select comparables and build out reports for your rentals. So that's a little bit different. This is more if you're looking for an investment property, but I'm just gonna go over this one. Um, so yeah, you can see the results here. What it does is it pulls down the number of beds, baths, square footage, property description details. And then it gets interesting once you can actually go into, purchase financing. You grabs the purchase price there, and you can add closing costs. You can play with your mortgage numbers here, all in the tool. So you can play with the amortization, the interest rates, what your down payment's going to be. And as you change those numbers, you'll see your projections and everything change as well. If we go to rental revenue, we you see it automatically pull down 2,300, so it got that number from our database. Um, and again, if you actually wanted to see a more refined number where you can look at comparables, then you would use the Market Rent Pro. And then you see the operating costs. Um, they pull this down as well, the maintenance fees, property tax. So you can really quickly do this analysis. And you can add things in there as well, other maintenance numbers. Um, Property appreciation, you can play with these numbers as well, so your cash flow and projections. So property appreciation, we're just assumptions of 2%. Rent appreciation, 2%, costs, vacancy, 6% there. And then you can just very quickly just analyze your property so you can see, what kind of cash flow you're looking at. If you're
So red
looking,
means bad.
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Kitchener's not too bad. I mean, if I showed you Toronto GTA properties, their cash flow is pretty negative for a lot of especially the condos, but just gives you a quick idea of what's going on, and then you can really delve into the numbers as you want. You can change up the numbers if you think property is going to appreciate further or less. It'll automatically adjust everything you see here. Um,
Love it. Hey, I just want to make sure that everybody has a chance to answer your poll here, Tej. So if we could pop that up on the screen as well. You can never have too many things on the screen here, gang, on a webinar. So, How do people decide if a property is right for you? All right.
I'm going
Is
to be
it through?
sending this to my daughter because she's in the midst of looking for a house and she keeps calling us for every property. So I'm going to tell her to check this out first and then call us.
Yeah, yeah, I'll save you time then. For
There you
sure.
go. Do you use spreadsheets of your own? Or are you calculating it yourself? Do you use property management software? Are you manually checking comparables if you even have access to the comparables? Are you using your past experience or are you using AI and data tools? So let us know here, gang, in the poll. Back to you here, Tej, and we'll share the results once they're in.
Sounds good. Um, yeah, I mean, essentially, you'll be able to quickly look at all the properties that you analyze. You can pretty much do it instantly. And you get a quick idea of what the cash flow numbers look like, cap rates, and it's a quick way to really look at multiple properties and not have to play around too much with different spreadsheet numbers. You don't have to build that out yourself. Um, and yeah, and I think the main thing is it's the basis for the rental income is coming from a pretty deep database, so that should help you out. Um, yeah, that's really the main gist of the AI deal analyzer. Um, Again, yeah, you can play with a lot of things here. You can enter different scenarios so you can project out your costs and incomes. So um, yeah, it should
Is
save
this
you
for people to
a lot of
log
time.
on and play around with?
What was that?
Is this free for people to log on and play
It
around with?
is. It is. Yeah, you just need to make a free account, and you'll be able to, yeah,
There
do
we
as
go.
many as you want. Yeah.
We like free. We're like we're but we will
Yeah,
pay for stuff when we need it.
for sure. For sure.
No, I love
Um,
this here, Tej. This is awesome. And anything that a real estate investor can use to make to help their decision-making process easier and not have to go and reach out to realtors and ask for comps and all those different things. So this platform is definitely going to be super helpful, and I know you're definitely investing a lot of time, effort, and energy into it. Let's look at the poll results here. A lot of people are relying on their own spreadsheets. Okay, so if you have your own calculators, that is awesome. I mean, that's 40%. But you gotta basically marry that up with manually checking comparables. And if people don't have a heartbeat on accurate comparables, you're really going to be guessing at what the values are going to be when it comes to anything real estate related. 24% also say past experience. And that's great too. But if the market's constantly changing, you got to make sure that you're keeping up to things. And only 2% are using property management software, and another 2% are using AI or data tools. So we gotta make that 2% a lot higher by making sure that people are using this platform. So any final thoughts here, Tej, before we move on? Because we want to make sure we have time for Kayla and also for some Q&A tonight.
yeah, no, just interesting from the results, manually checking comps, that's such a big piece. And there's a lot of guesswork involved in that if you're just browsing. The the engine that drives this again is that Market Rent Pro for us, and you can actually from that you can just put in any address and then it will um, draw a radius around that property and find listings. Even if those listings are no longer on the market, it'll find those comps and then you can then select those comps and really get a better idea of where the pricing stands. So yeah, that's really interesting. Those poll results there.
No worries. We'll use that to make the platform even better there, Tej. So thanks for the demonstration, because this is the first time I've also seen it demonstrated too, and I'm looking forward to using it too. So
Sure.
Kayla,
What's
you're
up?
you're up next. So using AI for clear answers in tough tenant situations. You're no stranger to this here. Founder of Ontario Landlord Watch and huge ambassador of FrontLobby. You get to deal with tricky tenant situations, not just yours, but everybody else in the universe, it seems, most days. So, and AI has become a very powerful tool. So, How are you navigating it these days? How are you using it to your advantage? And maybe you can even give us a sneak peek behind what tenants are using it for too, that we got to be prepared for as well. And we'll throw your poll question here out for everybody as well, so that you can get some results on that too. But interpreting provincial rental laws. How confident are you in interpreting provincial rental laws? Are you very confident, mostly confident, sometimes confused, often unsure, or absolutely, completely, and utterly overwhelmed? So, if people can answer that for Kayla, she'll get a better idea of where we're at here tonight. But Kayla, tell us how you're using AI these days.
Well, I don't even think our adjudicators were confident. So don't be shy to answer this because I think with AI, if you're not using it, why aren't you? Because your tenants are. And I'm getting a lot of phone calls from landlords. Their tenants have uploaded quite a bit of evidence into their portal when they are bringing their case to the Landlord and Tenant Board, to a situation where a tenant had uploaded, get this, 33,000 pages of evidence. And they're doing it as a tactic, to try to run out of time in order to get their hearing adjourned. So sometimes we have a lot of rules and regulations that we have to learn. Like I believe the RTA in Ontario for lease, it's quite a bit of pages, over 200 pages. There's going to be a lot of confusion that we can have, and this is why FrontLobby understood these barriers that landlords have and property managers, and they created Landlord Assist. This is something where you can log into your FrontLobby portal. This is your platform. You can log as a free member. It's accessible to you as well, and start asking it questions. And it's about how you train it to know what you want it to do. So you can go in there and it's been programmed by a legal rep. So like it's not legal advice, but you're definitely going to want to put yourself into this portal and ask it some legal questions. It guides you to where that you can get more information from. Even for, there's some things that I should be looking at or be concerned about when I am filling out my N4 application. And this platform will give you things that could result in your application being dismissed. And it's highlighting those situations where you can misspell something, you can put the wrong date. They tell you about putting every tenant's name. It talks about completing the rental address, the calculation of rent owing precisely, and gives you more details to it. Like it's not only like helping you fill out that form, it's also highlighting what could go wrong with that form as well. And then we also have it where create a checklist because I'm doing an inspection for my rental unit, or this big long letter that came from my tenant, stating about all these messages about maintenance issues. Write a letter back to my tenant as a professional landlord so that it's identifying the real information that the tenants need to know, but I also want to write it professionally so that if an adjudicator looked at it, it would also make them know that I'm actually doing my job as a landlord, and it writes it. So you got to check it out. This is something where, when you don't have your paralegal right at your fingertips and on the phone, and we know our paralegals are definitely busy these days. We're hearing some, concerns. This is going to help guide you. And it's going to it's not going to really dictate what you're going to do, but it's going to guide you into the right places. Right now, I can get it to write a letter for me, for my tenant, saying why I deny them. It's going to give you a highlight of what you should be concerned about with the Ontario human rights, what not to deny tenants on. So it's really setting you up for success by using this platform to better help you deal with tenants. So when tenants are using it to communicate with you, use it right back. Sometimes I think your brain wants to shut off sometimes because we're depending on AI quite a bit. And I'm hoping one day we're going to have the landlord and tenant board using AI too. So when they are getting out their orders, because they're taking a long time. So AI is the new thing. I think we have to embrace it. And we also have to make sure that our tenants are getting that customer service from us with the help of AI, making us a better business. What else to say about it? I absolutely love it. It's something where the landlords are able to get more educated. I always still think you need to be in person at these groups and being in these social media groups online, being in person. Education is the key, and you just ask it all your questions. When it first got started, my job was to ask it questions to break it. I couldn't break it. My one question was if we had a tenant that had filed bankruptcy and included their rental arrears in with their bankruptcy, can I evict them? Right. And it gives you so much information. It gives you how you should be presenting the information, but also what to look out for. And it's honestly going to be the next step into us fixing this housing problem across the province. So definitely take a look. Go over there for free. It is fun. It is exciting, and it's something that we all should be embracing for sure. Because there's going to be a lot of things that we want to include in our addendums for landlords. This is going to help you as well. So take a look at it and let me know if you have any questions. Because I can't break it. If you can break it, let me know.
It's so true. No, great platform, and there's some great insights in the chat there of other people that have been using Landlord Assist as well. So
And
here,
Corey, like I didn't mean to cut you off, but when we're dealing with difficult tenants, you and I both know, like, especially when it's your property, like your emotions just fill you. You feel like your blood pressure rising. Especially when it comes to like, even property management. It helps you take your crazy reply that you really want to say and brings it to being professional. And
yeah.
it calms you down. It's our little zen.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's how I was going to wrap up your section there, Kayla, is that, AI, it definitely helps take the emotion out of things. And I think that's really the future of these AI agents and eventually robots and all these things that are coming. They're going to be able to be centered and grounded and, just it's black and white, a lot of this stuff. And we got to take the emotion out of it. And hopefully the adjudicators start to get more and more of that vibe over time.
I think we just need
Um,
an AI adjudicator, to be honest. But like when you're dealing with the tenant, you want to like, say this is all that's happening to you. You're gonna like say it in the most politest, nicest way possible.
Yeah, we'll just prompt that adjudicator better than the tenant, and we'll be all good. So, here's the results from your poll. So, 38% say that they're sometimes confident, sometimes confused. So they're kind of depends on the day and depends on the situation. 29% of people are mostly confident, but you don't want to be mostly confident when you're going into battle. It can be a literal battle these days because it's an uphill battle. And then, 13% are completely overwhelmed, 11% unsure, and only 9% are very, very confident in the interpreting the rental laws. And I think that just goes to show that there's a lot to know, and people need to make sure that they're always putting their best foot forward. So,
Well, Corey, I think it's like we would look at real estate and we always say it's a game, like a game of real estate. And I always tell our tenants when they're hating online, I said, don't hate the player, hate the game. And that's a part where it's like you're taking that into understanding how we're going to communicate with them and say this is just business and this is the tool that we need to show that we're being professional. But it is fun using it. And especially if the tenants are really like crazy with you, but I think we're starting to use this for a platform and a tool so that we can really show our adjudicators and show that we're our professional landlords and we're not trying to take advantage of tenants and we're able to captivate and put this into organization because when you go to a hearing you need to be organized and I think with all the stuff that tenants send you and all the stuff that you're sending the tenants you can like take all this information and say put this in a nice document for me so I can present it to the adjudicator to win my case.
love it. All right, everybody. It is 7:49 right now, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. If you guys are okay if we go like 5 or 7 minutes overtime so we can actually answer more questions, throw an emoji in the chat and just let us know. Show us some love in the webinar chat, and that'll let us know that we have permission to go a little bit long tonight. There has been a lot of questions here. I'm frankly just trying to keep up with hosting everybody here tonight. I want to shout out Danielle, who is putting a lot of answered questions here in the answered portion of the Q&A. So if you click on answered, you will be able to see all these answers here. And if we copy and pasted this, we could actually start to generate a Danielle Chiasson Chat GPT agent right in your own Chat GPT account. So um, I was going to ask everybody for their quick 1 minute take, but I think I'd rather spend the time just diving into all the questions that we have here. So, Danielle, I will ask for a little bit of help here. If there's some questions that are still in the open chat, is that because they're more specific for people here?
Yeah.
Um, all right, there we go.
Yeah.
So,
So what happened here, guys, in the Q&A, so if you guys haven't seen it yet, if you were late joining and didn't get the beginning part of the webinar where we did a little bit of housekeeping, you can go into your Zoom window, whether you're on your laptop or your computer or your phone or your iPad, whatever device. There's the Zoom window, and then you just need to find your Zoom toolbar. So if it's a handheld device, you just tap the screen and you'll see the toolbar at the bottom. There should be a Q&A box. So click that, guys, and you'll see all our open questions which haven't yet been answered, and then all the answered questions. So to answer your question, Kory, I answered all of the questions through type. By typing the answer so that you guys can see all of those, because there's a lot of questions. I didn't think we'd get to all of them. So all of the questions that were directed to me in the beginning, I answered them all. And if you guys have any more questions, you can pop them in there, whether it's for me, Tej, or Kory, or Kayla. Just pop them in there, and Kory's going to go through. What I can do, Kory, is maybe go through high level the questions for me because a lot of them were consistent. And then you can dive into Kayla and Tej's. There was a lot of questions there for Tej too.
sure, that'd be awesome, Danielle.
Yeah. So for the questions that I had, yeah, honestly, it was a lot of what CRM are you using, the CR, like, or what AI agent that you're using. So I use an AI agent that's within our CRM, which is the client relationship manager that I was telling you guys about, which is a very powerful tool. And we use Go High Level for that. And it's natively in there. And so you can, once you learn what to do, by the way, I do not learn what to do. I am not tech savvy. It is all done with integration automation specialists that we have internally. But we do help our clients set this up. So if you want to learn more, you can find out more just by reaching out to me, and we can set up a call. But the CRM is called Go High Level. The AI agent is in that. And somebody else also asked, like, what's the difference between Grok and Chat GPT? What I want to say is this, guys, don't get it can be very overwhelming, all the different tech tools and AI tools that are out there. The AI agents, there are many you can choose from. The one in Go High Level in our CRM is just one of many. Okay. As the market continues to evolve in AI and tech, what you're going to see is there's going to be a lot of competing, which is good for our market, by the way. There's going to be a lot of competing tools. So people will come up with something and then somebody else is going to do it better, bigger, or differently that might serve your needs better. So I remember when CRMs first came out, there was Infusionsoft and a couple of handful. Now there's literally dozens. And that's going to happen on these other AI tools. So don't worry about being so, what's this and what, like, don't get overwhelmed. There's going to be a lot of tools out there. Just use the tools to help you figure out what's the difference between ChatGPT and Grok. And can you tell me all of the different categories of tech tools and what I can use them for? So leverage these tools in order to learn that. Yeah, I'm not going to take up all the time here, Kory, but those were two of the biggest ones that I saw. And the other thing was that I want to mention based on the questions real quick is that everybody is looking like, what tools do I need for tenant vetting? What tools do I use for leasing? What tools do I use for documents? Guys, there are some things that you want to just leverage with third party. These tech tools cost money, and you're going to find that it's going to add up really quickly. And so if you can leverage third parties, like, for example, when we do leasing, we use Single Key. There's, I don't know how many tools, half a dozen tools that they use for tenant vetting. So they pay all of the fees and subscriptions for that. And we just pay a small fee for them to implement and to spit out a report. So we get to use the tools, get the report, save time and money in that process. So a lot of these tools, you're not going to have to learn. You just need to learn who's using them more efficiently in order to hire those third-party providers and help you in your business. Hope that helped.
Yes, thanks, Danielle. Huge help and huge help in the chat for sure. And for people that want to, I'd want to make sure before we leave tonight that people are actually following all of us. So maybe we can drop our socials in the webinar chat that's just been going like crazy here tonight. Because, tonight is tonight. And if you're watching this on a replay, we only do these so often. We want to make sure that you're constantly following Kayla or Tej's company or Danielle or myself or FrontLobby, just to make sure that you guys are always tied to the source, okay? If you take one thing away from tonight, just make sure that you're close to the source of information, and that means staying in touch with everybody here tonight. So there were some questions about for Taj here, and you've been answering them in the by typing them out there, Taj. But for people that aren't following this here, can you just answer a couple of them really quick? I think there's questions are, is your pricing only for Canada, United States? Um,
Yeah. Um, yeah, so for that one, we're across Canada and parts of the US right now, and we're rolling that out slowly, but it's happening.
Love it. Any other questions you want to touch on there, Taj, that you've been typing out the answers to?
Uh,
Half blind, so I can even like see them.
some of them were just, yeah, there's similar questions. Name of the tool. Um,
Yeah, where are you getting the comparables from? Can you maybe put some a little bit of voice behind that? Obviously, it's very complex, I'm sure, behind the scenes, but how are you making sure that the comps are accurate for people?
Yeah, so we're using listed rents. So we work with a number of rental listing sites, and then we provide us with listed rents. So not listed. Sorry, not already leased out rates. So that's a key, but it usually doesn't not a huge difference between them once you look at aggregated numbers. So um, yeah, but yeah, in terms of sources, we're working with different pockets across the country, so different listing sites.
Love it.
Um, yeah, there's one question around does your app tell if a property is in an area where it's easy or difficult to rent? So I think they're talking about vacancy rates there. Um, oh no, I meant if we plan to buy an investment property, what tool tell us good to target the property? Is there good enough demand for rental property or no demand for rental property? Um, yeah, we don't currently we do have some demand metrics, but not in the AI deal analyzer. So hopefully that answers that
No
question.
worries. Taj, what's the best way for people to stay in touch with you? I know you mentioned that for people to just message you if they have some questions. We obviously don't want to blow you up too much, but I think it's a very powerful platform and people have questions about it.
Yeah, you guys can. I'll throw in my email. Feel free to email me there, and um, I'll also throw in our LinkedIn, and you guys can definitely follow us. We're gonna start posting some more stuff on there soon.
Very cool. I'm not sure if we've already mentioned this here, but Kayla, you've been dropping your Facebook community here in the chat. So I've been a member of your community. I can remember when the numbers were so much smaller, and it's just such a great resource. So highly, highly recommend that you people join Kayla's Facebook community. A ton of information in there, and I think you're going live tomorrow night. So tell us about that here in 30 seconds or less.
Yeah, so we got like obviously the Ontario Landlords Watch group. I have the Ontario Landlords Watch public page. You can obviously follow me as a my profile because I have a lot of followers, media, whatever. And then we've got the YouTube channel, and we're doing that as Kill It Unfiltered to make sure that I have an opportunity to share the landlord stories to any elected official, any media that is following the landlord's woes. And as we're talking about AI, I wanted to finish off to let our community know that tenants are using AI to fake pictures as well. So please be on guard and try to identify what's real, what's not real, because sometimes they're making complaints and filing applications on the landlord with fake AI images. So heads up, the world is changing and we have to grow and change with it. So please, the link is in the chat here for Landlord Assist, programmed by legal to help you guide you. And then we have our other tools like Danielle mentioned that is going to take us to the next level. And please keep learning because education is key to strengthening you and to strengthening your rental business. And always remember that it is a business, not a charity. So please be on guard at all times.
Big time. Thanks for that, Kayla. Danielle, you're all about community, and there's definitely ways that people can join our community. So maybe you can let people know about that. And I'm sure you've got lots to say as we wrap up here. So how can we pour into the audience?
Yeah, a couple of things real quick. So about community, to answer your question, we'll post in the chat here where you can join our community. We have going on 300 investors in our community for live chat. It's a place to support, share, and grow. And it's really just like-minded investors, professionals that are in there. Kayla's in there. Tej, you should be in there. We'd love to have you in there. But we have a lot of high-level people in there as well who contribute. Yeah, and those are ambassadors. So if you have questions, guys, put it in there, okay? So we'll make sure it's in the chat. You just click on that, click to join, and we'll see you there. We'll continue the conversation there. Two things I wanted to say here, Kory. Actually, it's one to Kayla and one to FrontLobby. So there is a question in the maybe Kayla actually can answer both these questions. Two things. What's the difference between FrontLobby and single key? Because a lot of people get confused over that. And that's been asked in our questions. And then the other thing is if you can share any AI tools that can help with, I don't know that I would do this, guys, to help with LTB issues. If you want to put a matter to the LTB, I personally use a deadly paralegal, and I think you should be using a paralegal because it's just so particular when it comes to the LTB issues. You don't want to have to wait 6 months for a hearing and then getting thrown and starting the process all over again. But the question is, Kayla, is there any LTB or AI tools that can help with the LTB matters? Maybe if there's a landlord that doesn't want to hire a paralegal and do it themselves.
Well, that one right away is going to be landlord assist. Being it programmed, it's been built with a paralegal, like a lawyer, like it identifies what your downfall could be by a mistake, and it prepares you where you need to get more information, or it tells you what more you need to do to strengthen your application. So play around with it. Like you're going to be able to say, take a case that you already know about, put it in that landlord assist on FrontLobby. That way you can do the comparison. I know I live this inside and out, and it gives a lot of information. Like, so I'm like, I know that, but like it's nicely the way that it's actually put into Landlord Assist. As for single key and FrontLobby, so one, you're going to know that FrontLobby also does credit reports. It's going to be based on what your preference is. We can have multiple different companies that offer credit checks. Sometimes it's just about how easy it is to read, what information you're going to get from the basic credit check and also the background check. So knowing that they're very comparable, it's just about what you like and how you fill it out. Obviously, FrontLobby is about the rent reporting. This is rent reporting. This is about debt reporting on former tenants. The tenants do not need to pay through the FrontLobby platform. The landlords are logging, creating a lease. You're putting the tenant's name, you're putting the tenant's birth date. It's being reported to FrontLobby and shared with Landlord Credit Bureau and Equifax and soon TransUnion. I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but I am. I'm excited. And then where you're going to be able to have that tenant being reported as paid and on time unless you go in to report the debt. And that's where you don't need the tenant's consent to report a debt. You do not need a landlord and tenant board order to report it to the credit bureaus. So the only time you're going to need the tenant's consent is if you want to report a good payment history on our good tenants. And especially where the market's being really fluffy right now, we don't know what's happening. It's definitely, you need to have tools to offer these good tenants, and knowing that you can help them build their credit while they rent from you is going to really bring in some good tenants to you and also discourage the other bad tenants away from you. And hey, they don't have to pay through the system. I know sometimes you have to pay through other systems to have that payment history reported, not with FrontLobby.
Awesome. There's a follow-up question to that. Does Landlord Assist work across Canada or is it just Ontario? Like, does it work in BC?
There is, I'm gonna ask my moderator because there it is in certain provinces right now because it had to be really, there's a lot of effort going into each area, but there it is quite out there. Definitely Ontario, and I believe BC is in there, for sure, because they're probably the most two provinces that need love.
Wouldn't it be great if all provinces could just get on the same page and then we could like, why does everything need to be regulated by province? It just makes it difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I seen that the chatter said, do you need the tenant's consent to report? Only for good payments. Only if you want to help bill the tenant, which they can give consent through the platform. You're sending it to the tenant's email. You do not need the tenant's consent to report a debt for rent and utilities. And now, if you have a tenant that did damages, you cannot report the damages unless you have an order, because obviously damages can really much fluctuate by what the cost is. But for rent and for utilities, it's a free game.
You guys are all such a wealth of knowledge here. Thanks, Danielle, for dropping that paralegal contact here. And if people have more paralegal contacts, I'm going to encourage you to join our community and we can have that conversation within that community. My one wish before my birthday, which is on Christmas Eve, is if we could get our community over 300 people, that would be amazing. So go blow it up tonight there, everybody, and help
He's
in that
on Christmas
regard.
Eve.
It is. So I'm used to getting ripped off, just like a lot of landlords at LTV. So it's all good. I was born for this sort of stuff. But the tides are turning more in our favor because people are using and they're connected to systems like they're finding out about on the call here tonight. So how about we just wrap things up with a hot minute for everybody? What's your one biggest piece of advice if people were just tuning in 5 minutes ago and you only had 60 seconds to pour into them when it comes to AI and any platforms that we talked about tonight, what would your advice be? Danielle, I'm going to start with you first. I'll go to Taj second, and we'll have Kayla bring us home.
Go back and watch the replay so you're getting more than 60 minutes of advice. Honestly though, guys, here's what I'm gonna tell you, especially when it comes to AI, but pretty much this is fundamental in your life. If you really want to level up and make it so that landlording is a more pleasant journey and not so hard, you just need to start learning the tools that you need to do. And it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to like take on the entire world and do it on all at once, like I said earlier, but do something. Implement one tool at a time. And if you say, okay, this month I'm going to implement this tool, I'm going to learn ChatGPT. Next month I'm going to learn how to use a CRM. Next month I'm going to learn how to send out email automations. And if you just do one thing at a time, it will be a game changer. You're going to blink and it's going to be a game changer. So don't be intimidated by it. And if you are, that's okay. Just do something, bite the bullet and do something. Just one thing, that's it. So just implement one thing, get it in your process, and then take on the next one. You don't have to do it all at once.
I'm going to echo that. And we've got some great advice on the last page of our asset that we're giving away to everybody who's a tenant tonight. So, yeah, just get used to what is a project within ChatGPT and how do you program and optimize the platform and make sure it knows exactly who you are and what you do and all the context and background. Then, how can you actually start to make an agent for all the different kind of roles and hats that you wear on a day-to-day basis? It's so powerful, but spend the time. It's worth the investment. AI is not going away. It's going to become a bigger and bigger part of our lives. So, Taj, how about yourself? What's your one hot take for everybody here in 60 seconds or less?
Yeah, I would just say try out different tools. Try it out with your process, like Danielle was mentioning. You don't really have a lot to lose. It's worth just seeing the results, and you can compare it to your old processes, see if that works better or not. If it doesn't, you can stick to your old stuff. But there's a lot of change happening really fast right now, and it's worth at least experimenting with it. And yeah, if you're curious at all and you want to just speed up what you're doing and do things in a more efficient way, it's worth trying out some of these AI tools. Definitely.
Appreciate that, Taj. So thanks for again, thanks for that demo earlier tonight. And guys, spread the news. Let everybody know about the platform and how useful it can be. And that's how a lot of people find out about these things. It's by user adoption and then sharing it with your friends and your communities too. So Kayla, take us home. How can we make sure that AI is used for a force for good?
You know what, guys? I think we're always we don't need to be a standalone wolf. I think we need to be a part of a pack. And I think that's why I became the ambassador to Front Law because it's connecting us all together. We're going to be in different communities. We're going to be on different Facebook groups, but Front Lobby really does bring us all together with the rent reporting, with the former debt reporting, with the credit checks. It really brings us in as a community, just like we do these landlord lessons. And there's going to be other webinars that I'm excited to take part in. This is going to bring you the education as well. And so that you don't need to be that standalone wolf anymore. You are a part of the pack and we are a part of a Front Lobby family. And I'm excited to be a part of this company that has brought us not only a tool, the tool. No matter where you are in Canada or the US, Front Lobby is needed. And I know our good tenants are going to love it. And we're protecting our good landlords out there as well. And I thank you everyone for tuning in tonight.
Yeah, I just want to thank the team behind this. I want to a huge shout out to Front Lobby for helping to organize this and all the emails that have gone out, everybody that's attended this here. We appreciate the numbers holding strong here right till the very end. All your questions, all your participation. Let's keep the conversation going. If you need more help with in your fight as a landlord, make sure you're following Kayla. If you guys need more help with data and comps and those number optics, make sure that you're using Taj's platform. If you guys need help with really figuring out how to grow as a landlord, if you want that clarity, if you want that confidence to move forward and take that next step into your next rental property, stay in touch with Danielle and myself. We help investors every single day get into the next investments, and we do it by sharing the right tools, resources, and communities. And pouring into people here just like tonight. So I just want to thank everybody tremendously from the bottom of our hearts. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Take
Have a
care,
good one.
everybody.
Cheers.